and today I wanted to talk to you guys. Is my head cut off? Today I wanted to talk to you guys about the book Cabal by Clive Barker. This is, well, on his website he claims that it is a novella, but it is a book to a normal writer. But there's nothing normal about Clive Barker, and that's why we love him so much. This isn't the whole book, so this is Cabal. So it's still a few hundred pages. It's a novel. So anyways, I wanted to talk about this compared to the movie Nightbreed, which is also written and directed by Clive Barker. So I'm going to give you a quick synopsis. This is going to be the same in the movie and the book. And then at the end, we'll talk about the differences between them. The story is about a man named Boone. He's kind of overcoming his mental health issues with his therapist, but he comes to find out that he's actually this serial killer. He is really devastated to find out that he has killed people because he doesn't remember doing it at all, but his therapist is pretty adamant. He has proof that he's done it. Boone kind of realizes that he doesn't want to be in this world. He doesn't want to be with his girlfriend, and he finds this group of people called the Nightbreed. And now the Nightbreed are kind of like people of the underworld, shapeshifter, demon worshipping things. They're kind of like the living dead. And so he sets out on a mission to become part of the Nightbreed. He ends up finding the location where they exist, which is in a cemetery. So he ends up going there, gets bit by one, and thus turning into a member of the Nightbreed. So his girlfriend comes, she finds the town that his body was found in because he's dead, but he's also not dead because he's living, but he is dead. Do you get what I'm saying? Like he died, but then he's still alive. So she goes to find where his body was found. It ends up disappearing from the morgue because he is in fact still alive, but she doesn't know that. So she goes to the town to try to get some answers on what's happening. She finds the shapeshifters and then realizes that there's something more supernatural going on here. Now I should mention there's also a character called the Mask. I'm not going to go into too much detail about him because if you guys read the story or watch the movie, I don't want to give too much away. But he is a serial killer. His goal is to find Boone and kill him, even though he's already dead, but they don't know that he's dead. But, well, they do know that he's dead, but he also got up and walked away. So they know something weird is going on. And so he follows his girlfriend. He's trying to kill Boone's girlfriend as well. Boone, because he is part of the Nightbreed, hears what's going on. The people of the Nightbreed tell him, you can't go up there because that will, the people will know where we are and it'll cause a big problem. Well, he ends up going up there, saving her anyways. This, in fact, does lead humans to fight the Nightbreed. It's like a big war, and the Nightbreed, who worship Baphomet, I think, is that how you pronounce it? This demon guy. The demon guy turns him into Cabal, tells Boone that he is now in charge of kind of reconnecting all of the Nightbreed that now don't have a home because the humans destroyed it. A lot of Nightbreed died. Yada yada. So that is kind of where the book ends. I'm a little disappointed that there's no second one. So Clive Barker, buddy, come on, we need a second Nightbreed. I was really disappointed to find it because this book was written in, I think, the 80s. Because I just read it this year. I thought, oh, okay, well, surely there will be a second one already, and there's not. Well, there's copyright 85 and 89 because there are separate novellas in here, so I'm not sure which year the Cabal was written, but regardless, in the 80s. What was I talking about? So that's kind of the consensus of the book and the film. They are quite similar in that. However, there are a lot of differences that I wanted to kind of touch on today. And by the way, Nightbreed is on Shudder. If you guys have Shudder, you can check it out. Now for the differences. So this is just a little difference, but the novel focuses more on the mental illness of Boone, and mainly more in the beginning, I think. But the movie starts with him being better, so that is a little bit different. Also, the doctor, his therapist in the movie, is creepy as shit from the beginning. You play the first scene and you're like, oh, that guy's creepy. But when you read the book, you don't really get that. And not that one is superior to the other, that is just a difference. So the character of the Mask, who is a serial killer, you actually see him killing people in the movie, which I thought that was such a cool adaptation, because you don't get to witness that in the book. And the Mask is my favorite character. He's so cool. The Mask is a fantastic character. So he's just a man. He carries around a briefcase, and the briefcase talks to him because it's got the mask inside, and it's like, hey, let me out, you want to let me kill these people. It's so cool. So in the book, the Mask is so well developed. I love the character. It's fantastic. In the movie, however, it really doesn't focus much on him, so you really do get to miss a lot of that cool information that you get in the book. So that's one thing I was disappointed about in the film. We learn about his Boone's innocence, so we do find that he actually didn't commit the murders in a different way. How he dies is different as well. Again, it's not a huge difference, it's just a little thing. There are different monsters in the movie. So the movie is cool because you go into their lair, L-A-I-R, lair? Why does that sound so weird? It sounds like I'm saying lair, but I'm saying lair. Whatever. Their home. You just see a plethora of monsters. So that was really cool, that visual of the film, of going in and just seeing where they live, how it's set up, the set design, fantastic in this film. The monsters, so cool. A few of them even have definitely Cenobite type vibes to them for sure. Whereas the book, they're shapeshifters. And so there is description of them, but the descriptions are kind of ever changing, although they are different. Like one turns into like an animal, like a deer thing, and the other is like a snake thing, and you know what I mean? They're not all the same monster, but they are, I believe they are all shapeshifters in the book. And that is, I guess, a part of the movie, but obviously with the shape-shifting and, you know, practical effects and CGI and stuff, and the movie being in the 80s, I think it was made in the 80s, maybe the 90s, but it's a very old film, and so the shape-shifting isn't quite so prevalent in the movie as it is in the book. There's also a little bit of difference in how another character dies, but it's still by the same person for the same reason, so I don't think that that's a huge thing anyways. This is a big difference though. Baphomet's description is very different in the book and the film. This is just why? Because Clive Barker's imagination is so fucking bonkers that there's no way that a film could match what he makes up in his head, even himself. So in the book, you can't even look at it. The light is so bright, it's so intense. He's like on a mountain or something. I can't remember exactly, but the description is so intense that you can't even look at him. Whereas the movie, obviously, you can see him because that would be stupid if you couldn't look at him. So the descriptions of the actual demon entity that they worship is quite different. Again, not that one's superior to the other. I think that both are pretty cool. And also what happens with Baphomet is a little bit different. One difference is that there is a character called Rachel, and she is part of the Nightbreed. She is a shapeshifter, and she has a much bigger role in the film than she does in the movie. No. She has a much bigger role in the movie than she does in the book. So in the book, she's just kind of there to tell Boone's girlfriend, like, hey, you can't do that. No, you can't go there. No, we're not gonna help you. But in the movie, she actually goes out on the limb to try to help Boone, rescue him from jail, do all this stuff. So she does have a more important role in the outcome of the film than in the book. Okay, so this I think is the most important thing that I want to talk about today, is that there is a bit that is unclear, I think, if you just watch the movie and you haven't read Cabal. So I watched this with my husband and he had a few questions. One of them was, why does the mask want to kill Boone so bad? And for me, it was such an obvious question, but I had already read Cabal, and Cabal answers that very directly, whereas I think that it isn't so obvious in the film. And so I can see where that question arises from, like, why is this guy so obsessed with this Nightbreed character? Goes on a crazy killing spree to kill him. But then also I think the description of the killing spree doesn't make a lot of sense either, unless you read the book, because in the book, because the mask doesn't get what he wants, he's not fed the murders that he so desperately craves, the character who is the mask without the mask on says, like, oh, well, now if I don't appease him today, tomorrow I'm gonna have to go on a killing spree. And that's the only thing that's going to keep him quiet. So I think little things like that are easily missed in the movie. Again, I don't think that this is a problem. I think that this is just the way that it works, where you have the same story with two different mediums. Some things just don't work. Sometimes things get lost. Sometimes things are outwardly stated here, but indirectly stated there. But another huge thing is, my husband asked me, why are they carrying cloth? So in the end of Cabal, Baphomet breaks up into a bunch of pieces, and the remaining members of the Nightbreed who survived wrap him up and bring him. And so it is Cabal's job now to kind of like resurrect Baphomet from his slumber once they do have a home for him. In the movie, they do not show that. They don't show Baphomet breaking into a bunch of pieces and then wrapping them and bringing them. They just kind of show Baphomet talking, and then they show the Nightbreed carrying out the pieces of cloth. So that's what that's about if you've watched Nightbreed but haven't read Cabal. So I just think that there are a little things here and there that are different, maybe things that aren't so clear if you've read it. I think that it's definitely worth a read and a watch. I'm sorry, I think my husband's home. I think they're both worth a read and a watch, by no means my favorite Clive Barker book. It's a lot more like adventure and kind of, when I think of shapeshifters, I think of like mystical, and I'm not a huge fan of wizards or mystical type things. So it just isn't really up my alley. It's not fully a book that I just fell in love with, like some of other Clive Barker books that I've read, but I still really enjoyed it. It's really interesting, and it's still, I mean, it's a Clive Barker book. It's still written fantastically. The guy is an absolute genius. And same with the movie. I think that it's worth watching, but it is by no means like a Hellraiser equivalent in my mind. But it is fun. It's cool to see all the different monsters of the underworld, and a cool story. So let me know if you guys have seen Nightbreed. Let me know if you guys have read Cabal. Let me know which one you liked better. Okay, see you Tuesday and Thursday with another horror video. Bye.